morning. So I know I've done a lot of these where I've talked about the word choice, but this morning was one of those where I had to make a choice in the wee hours of the morning. I was up. I don't know that I was helping very much, but I was encouraging my son to get some things done because he wanted me to stay with him. Of course, my oldest, my teenager, is a bit of a night owl, and if I ever was a member of the Night Owl Club, I'm definitely not anymore. I must have traded in that membership, not paid the dues or something. But anyway, so I was up till about midnight. I know. Some of you are saying, and others of you are saying, "Oh my gosh," but it's the truth. I just don't do that sort of thing a whole lot, and especially the only reason I was able to do it last night is because today is a working from home day, one of the last few before the last vestiges of pandemic work schedule go away. And anyway, I opted, alright, I hung with him, and I knew when my head hit the pillow, it didn't take long to go to sleep, but my alarm goes off at 5, because generally on my work from home days, I try to get in my walk of about 30 minutes to start the day. And so this morning, when that alarm went off, I was like, so do I get up and do 30 minutes of walk, or do I table the walk till later in the day, which is going to be oppressively hot or possibly rained out or other things, and go for a couple of more hours of sleep, pushing right up to the mark, then I can throw in the shower and get going. And I opted for the sleep this morning because I'm like, a walk later in the day will have a similar effect as a walk early this morning, but I'll be operating on a cranky 5 for most of the day versus operating on a relatively normal, healthy 7. But it reminded me of two things. One, in high school, I know a lot of you in your English class or literature class, you had to study the poems of Robert Frost, and there was one, two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as it could to where it bent in the undergrowth. And I remember in my class, because we were all smarty pants, gifted nerd folks, that we actually got into discussion of whether there really was any difference in the trails at all. Ultimately the choice of that is that he says at the end of it, he reinforces his thought by saying, in the end, I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. It also reminds me of a story of Jesus. He had gone to Mary and Martha's house, and Martha is playing house guest. She's serving, she's making sure her guests are comfortable and everything else. And Mary is sitting there at the feet of Jesus, taking it all in, his teachings and everything else. And Martha comes in because the social expectation is that you would get up and help house guest host these folks. And Jesus says, don't take this from her. She has chosen the better part. Um, and so sometimes we have to make a choice between two things that would be good options, but which one is the better or the best option? Um, it's kind of funny. Last night at church during Bible study, we were studying about the spiritual gift of wisdom. This is definitely one of those times when praying for wisdom comes in line. Even though I was in a half asleep stupor and just had to make a choice in my mind, but a lot of times when we face these good, better, best choices, it really is important to pray for wisdom. So, one other thing, going back to the Frost poem and the roads diverging in a wood, he's basically talking about a trail in essence. And having done quite a few trails and trail running in the past, there's one good thing about trails and trail running is that eventually you can come back and you can experience the other fork in the trail. So, I know fear of missing out, FOMO, is a thing nowadays, but honestly, with patience and with planning, a person can come back and experience some things that they may not have gotten to experience at the outset. Now, true, sometimes things are time sensitive and you miss it in that moment, and but there also is some truth to the little proverb that good things come to those that wait. And so sometimes it is advised to choose a better path at the current time, and then later you may be able to experience that other path, which is what I'm hoping, if time and weather hold out, then maybe later this evening I'll be able to get in that walk after all. Till next time, keep it PG.